The presenting sponsor of Moontower Soccer is FVF Law.
To find out what makes FVF a different kind of injury law firm, you can visit fvf.law.
I used to always make you smile, but now I struggle with the dial. Don't as I try to call your number.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Swoontower Soccer. I'm your host, Mike Cragnola.
And I'm Stephanie Cragnola.
And we are here, as always, to talk to you about the boys.
We're so excited because not only are we talking about two matches today, a sweet little match, Scott, we have our Swoontower Celly check, our fit checks, our social media standouts, but the most important thing of today...
Oh, hands down, our first guest ever.
We got Jessica Luther on to chat about the boys, and y'all, what an honor.
Oh my gosh, she's so cool.
She's so cool. So that's coming a little bit later, but we are going to cover our regular things first.
Yeah, and I think we played it pretty cool in the interview.
Yeah, we were so cool.
We definitely didn't blow it. Don't worry,
we
y'all. I know everybody was worried for us. We were worried for us, but I think we did all right.
Yeah, we did a great job.
Yeah. She said afterward that it was way more fun being on Swoontower than Moontower.
She did not. Don't slander her like that. Okay, let's get into our stuff because we're going to start at home with our match against the New York Red Bulls. We're not going to, as always, we're not going to talk about the actual matches. But you know what we are going to talk about?
The match, Scott?
Y'all, this dog's name is Lunchbox.
Yep. And
Lunchbox.
when you see Lunchbox, you're going to know why.
Lunchbox. Like, I can't. It might be the most perfect name for a dog I've ever heard in my life, and he's so cute. He's so cute.
He was a dream. He's 9 years old. He's a little thick, 67 pounds of, love.
Pitbull Terrier love.
Yeah, he reminds me a lot of Hero, but older.
He's so cute.
Yes.
If you are looking for an old man in your life
who is just so sweet and so gentle
and has the best name of a dog literally ever.
Yeah. We highly recommend Lunchbox.
Why don't we hear from Lunchbox himself?
Oh, what a celebrity.
Hey, Lunchbox, we've got a couple questions for you. First of all, who on the team do you want to take out for a picnic and why?
Oh, good choice.
Yeah.
Good choice, Lunchbox.
And Lunchbox, what are you going to pack for snacks in your picnic basket?
Oh, that sounds so good, baby. I can't wait. Lunchbox, tell me, who do you most want to play fetch with you? Good point, Lunchbox. That's such a good choice. Mine too, baby. Well, let's get those 3 points. Can we get a Listos Verde from you, Lunchbox? Good boy.
1,000,000 out of 10 lunchable snacks is what I rate Lunchbox.
6,000 charcuterie boards.
I love this dog so much. Lunchbox is the best. The game, not the best.
No. Definitively not the best game that we have seen at home this year.
There were a couple standouts, though.
Yes, absolutely. Driussi had absolute bangers of goals. Just unreal. Landon and Jeremiah talk about them much better on Moontower, but oh my goodness, what incredible feats.
Yeah, I think incredible feet attached to legs would be, we got Washington Caruso's debut. Everyone has talked ad nauseum about the bicycle kick assist, but we are also going to, because not only was it a feat of athleticism, it was a feat of that
So
legacisms.
Yep.
That was just off the top of my head.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Also, he was just so cool. And I really loved seeing how smiley he was after it. What a good smile on that guy.
All right, our only other point about the Red Bulls match was something that happened after the match, and it was in an interview with Ruben Gabrielson.
Yeah, the opposite of a smile. Ruben had a quote to one of the journalists. You know, man, it's like sometimes you write a shit article. It's like that in football.
Yeah, just what an answer to how do you bounce back from a bad game. I mean, it's incredible. I don't know if it came off the top of his head or if he's had that one like in his back pocket, but best comeback I've ever heard from an athlete.
Yeah, so awesome. And like everybody's had a bad day at work.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to be reminded that like, no, these boys are just boys sometimes, you know?
Yes, and funny boys.
Yes.
All right, let's move on over to our win against Sporting Kansas City.
Yeah, we actually got 2 wins at Sporting Kansas City. The first one was on the score sheet, and then the second one was me being proved right. I would just like to take us back to the genesis of Swoontower here when we were talking about players that were leaving the team. And one of those players was Ben Sweat. And I said that he had serious growth potential in handsome boysness. And y'all, the long hair, like it works for him.
I'm going to go with on that. I'm going to give you a real solid
I'm just saying, give it 10 years when he's coaching or like punditing, and you're going to be like, man, that is an attractive older man.
Maybe. We'll see.
I'm telling y'all.
Follow up with us in 10 years, and we will see if that's true. We'll Google Ben Sweat.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he's a long-term play, you know, dividend kind of player. He's not a short-term, you know, stock here. He's a long-term retirement stock.
The other thing that I wanted to talk about this match is we were listening to Moontower today, and they were talking about the number of yellow cards in the first half versus the number of yellow cards in the second half. And it was what I think they said 6 versus 2.
Yeah, versus very few.
Yeah. I would like Landon and Jeremiah didn't suggest this as a possibility, but I would like to think that he got a stern talking to.
Yeah, do you think his parents called him at the half and were like, dude, what are you doing?
I think Ethan Finley's dad called him at the half. I think he was tweeting, he got a DM on Twitter from Ethan Finley's dad.
Yeah, shouldn't be checking your phone during the half.
I mean,
gotta keep your head in the game.
Because
sure, yeah.
really changed his behavior, and that's the kind of influence that Ethan Finley's dad has.
You're right. I have been afraid to tweet anything about Ethan Finley.
Same! I won't do it! I won't.
And so clearly...
I even get nervous mentioning him in my tag yourself after the picture tweets.
So clearly the ref also feels the same anxiety that you do.
Yeah.
Because, the second half of the match got a lot looser. Maybe almost too loose.
Maybe almost too loose.
But you know what? We held on. Brad Stuver, king of the world.
Oh, so good.
What a guy. Also, I realized I didn't put it in the show notes, and I'm so sorry, but I really wanted to talk about Felipe after that penalty. Remember, I played the replay back to you 100 times, freaking out about how obnoxious Felipe was.
Yes.
God, it was so good. If y'all haven't seen it, check the highlights for the save and watch Felipe celebrate Brad Stuver at Daniel Shallowy immediately after his shot was blocked.
So fast in his face. Fast.
So much poop housing.
The other thing which transitions us into our next section, our Swoontower Celly check. We're not going to talk about all of the celebrations. During the Red Bulls match, there really were kind of tamed down celebrations because we were coming up from so far behind. So I think that really it skewed the performance a bit.
Yeah, and I think the same thing with Alex Rings in the Sporting Kansas City match.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, oh, that probably shouldn't have gone in.
Yeah, and we had so many goals taken away in such quick succession that it feels like, I don't know if you really need to celebrate that one because who knows what's going to happen.
Right, yeah, it's about damn time, but maybe it won't go in.
Yeah. So we did get Seba dancing, and unlike last Swoontower cycle, no notes for Seba. No notes.
What's the
1
score?
million trillion Selenas out of 10.
I'm giving it a 9.5.
What?
I got to.
Why?
It's my brand.
No. Oh, you're wrong. You're gonna get a call from Ethan Finley's dad.
I did also want to do a public apology to the world on behalf of my wife.
What?
Because we found out after last Swoontower that both of the celebrations that she had been so negative about were celebrations about and by and for children.
All right, listen. I will say to you on the podcast what I said to you in our home. If they want better scores, they should stop relying on children for their ideas.
Wow, you heard it here, folks. Steph hates children. Jeez. And
Listen.
the family.
I think it's very sweet. I do think that would, give them some extra points. Is it going to get them to a 10? Only that little hip action or, something really clever can do that. So, we're just going to have to wait and see how the rest of the season pans out.
All right, let's move on to fit checks then.
Ooh, okay.
Because we have got some Lukes to talk about this week.
Speaking of daddies.
Oh, boy. We want to obviously always, forever and ever, Julio Cascante, are you serious?
He also ended up on GQ Sports Outfit of the Week Twitter poll.
He deserves it.
He does deserve it.
He
always.
deserves it every week. I bet right now, whatever he is wearing right now as we record this on a Tuesday evening, guaranteed should be on GQ Sports Outfit of the Week.
But yeah, those white pants, that black shirt unbuttoned to his belly button,
What
the
a
bucket
cool
hat.
guy.
What a cool guy.
What a cool guy. How do I do that? How do I be cool like that?
Well, you could take cues from another cool guy. We're going to a wedding this weekend, and you will be wearing a suit. You could wear your suit with just a plain white T-shirt underneath, like Siba.
Do you think I could pull that off?
I think you could.
Oh, well,
I think you're very handsome.
Do you think I'll be asked to leave the wedding?
No.
You sure?
No. But I do think that you'd look really good, just judging from what that sweet fit looks like. So,
I want to give a special shout out this week to our dude Ethan Finlay.
right?
I love the utilitarian but make it fashion.
Yeah.
Like even down to his gray shoes.
Right. He looks. You know what he looks like is a professional golfer that I would want to be friends with.
I was gonna say he looks like a sales exec that I would want to be friends with.
Okay.
You know,
All right.
he's like a maybe not exec, maybe he's like a sales, like a upper middle management in sales on the weekend
Sure.
kind of vibe.
It's a good vibe, though. It's a
Yeah.
good look for Ethan Finlay. I had to zoom in to make sure it was Ethan Finlay because I was like, oh, that's a hot guy. And then I zoomed in and I was like, Stephanie, what have you become?
Look, he looks great.
I know.
And those sunglasses really pull it together.
Yes. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. He really needs sunglasses to make his face.
Steph, his
Sorry, Dad. Sorry, Ethan Finlay's dad. Okay, moving on.
Ruben.
Moving on to everyone's dad in the world. Ruben posted a story with, I'm pretty sure he posted it today on Tuesday. I'm pretty sure it was from that match because it looked like he was walking into a game. But my first thought is he's got this white shirt with green leaves on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, he looks a lot like Tom Nook. He's just ready to sell out some bells and put you all in debt for building a house on an island.
The Animal Crossing character, Tom Nook.
Yeah. The biggest crook in video gaming history.
Wow. We got some hot takes on Tom Nook today.
But he's super cute, and so is Ruben. So, just saying.
Fair enough. I aspire to have a chest broad enough to be, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 3 or 4 buttons undone and just so chill about it.
Yeah, it's great.
One day.
Yeah.
One day.
All right, that's enough fashion. We only have one major social media standout because we're going to get into the boys quite a bit with Jessica in just a moment. But Ding, ding, ding.
New boy alert.
Ding, ding, ding.
New boy season.
Woo!
Let's go, Emiliano Rigoni. He's here.
Yeah.
Well, he's on the team.
He's on the team.
Official.
Welcome to the team. We're so excited to have you. We hope you don't listen to this podcast.
Ojalá que sí, that you do listen and that you love it, and that you play cumbia for us.
Yeah, if you could record a new intro song, we would be... it's fine if it's just on your little drum pad. If that's all you got right now, that's great. We'll take a new beat to get us in and out of the show.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
That's why I said it.
You're right.
I know.
God, let's leave this in. I wanted to talk about how cute it was that he called us La Familia. And by us, I mean the players, like the team. Like Seba has started calling Austin FC family. Mm-hmm. And Rigoni said that in his like welcome like Instagram story where he was like talking about being excited to come join La Familia. It's just so cute.
That is super cute. All right, so that's all we've got for you for new stuff today. Now we are going to get into our interview. Jessica is amazing, and we hope you enjoy. Okay, so today we have our very first Swoontower guest. We are so excited. This is a big step. We're becoming podcasting toddlers, I think.
Yeah.
And, you know, starting to put guests into the fold. So we're really excited. Mike, why don't you tell us who it is?
Yeah, today we have got Jessica Luther with us. Jessica is an investigative journalist, author, podcaster, and an Austin FC fan. You can buy her books, Loving Sports When They Don't Love You Back, Dilemmas of the Modern Fan, and Unsportsmanlike Conduct, College Football, and the Politics of Rape at Book People today, or you can order them online from bookshop.org and support local stores like Bookwoman, Black Pearl Books, and Malvern Books, 3 of our favorite bookstores in the city. You can also find her podcast, Burn It All Down, wherever you get podcasts, and you can and should directly support it by becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/burnitalldown. Jessica, thank you so much for joining us. Did I miss anything?
No, that was wonderful. And I didn't realize I was the first guest.
Yeah.
I am so honored. I love Swoontower. Okay, this is great.
I mean, I guess Landon was like on the first couple episodes, but that was more like Dad
That
making
doesn't
sure.
count.
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't count. No, I'm
I was
owning
like,
this.
Yeah, you should. Because
Can't
those
take
were
that from
really
me.
like, can you two
prequels.
do this?
Yeah. The test runs. Can we trust you with this?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, though, for being here. I'm really excited to get to chat with you. I love reading your work. I am excited to talk a little bit about your work at the top if you want to, but also not about it at all for the rest of it and just focus on the boys.
Thank you. Yes, it's very nice to, like when I was prepping, I was
Yeah.
I was telling my husband about what I had to prep, and he was like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "Yeah, it's very different. It's very exciting." So I appreciate that.
One of the things that jumped out, you wrote an article for The Striker, and one of the lines that you had in that article was, when the team came to town, I decided to jump in and fully become a fan. And so that was really like interesting to me because in your line of work, I can't imagine that's an easy decision to make. So I was kind of wondering if you could like step us through that a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. So, I mean, I used to be a humongous Florida State football fan. That's just how I was raised. And that's the only school I applied to go to. That is where I met my husband. I went to all the football games, hardcore. And then working on gender violence in sport, I got into it because there was a famous case at Florida State involving our quarterback. And I just lost my love of that team, but also just college football in general. I did too many stories. I mean, I wrote a book about it, and I just couldn't sort of hold on. And yeah, it was a really conscious moment when I was talking to my husband, Aaron. I'll just say his name, Aaron. When I was talking to him about this, and I'm like, I think I'm going to do this. But I will say I was like nervous.
Yeah.
I assume because of the ubiquity of gendered violence that no organization is going to escape cases of it. So I didn't think it would quite be that quickly, I will say.
Sure.
But yeah, I had to just be like, I'm going to do this. And because I mean, part of it is there's like a famous cliche about like if you report on a team, you can't like that. Like you learn not to like them. You like know the underbelly, and it's normally not good.
Right.
And so yeah, it was like, how much do I really want to take in about this? Like, how do I just do this as a fan? I've talked a lot, or I've tweeted a lot about how Moontower is so great for me as just like I just listen to it as a fan, and I can keep up on these players. But it's been so much fun that like part of your brain that like activates when you learn who all the players are. I can tell who they are by their way they run. Or like when we were watching on Sunday, my husband was like, "Who's that?" And I'm like, It's Gallagher. He has yellow shoes on. Like those little things that get activated as a fan are so fun. And so it's mostly been like just a great joy, even in the pain. Like Sunday was painful for most of that match, and there's still for me some kind of like emotional delight. There's like that catharsis of like all the feelings around a thing that, sorry, ultimately doesn't matter.
Whoa.
Yes, but it's absolutely true.
Absolutely.
You know, it's not actually going to affect like my material existence.
No.
But my emotional one, I'm absolutely there for, and I love it. I love that part of sports so much. This has been just great for me.
So did you get into soccer because this is our not first, but first with air quotes professional team in Austin, or was that move from American football to European football more conscious?
I've been a casual fan mainly of the women's game. Like I actually went to France in 2019 and wrote some pieces for the Huffington Post about the Women's World Cup. Like cool. One of my coolest moments in this job is I interviewed Stella Marley in her hotel room in this town in France about funding the Jamaican women's soccer team. And I work on Burn It All Down, which we've been doing for 5 years, and 2 of the 5 of us are international soccer experts. So like I keep up with it that way. I've always, especially as a girl who cared about sports, that was, 99, I was 19.
Sure.
But still like that was really the touchstone. Maybe also college basketball, but so I've always kind of been a casual fan of it. I feel like I basically understand everything that's happening all the time. Like I know enough about rules and stuff like that. So I didn't have to start like as a total newbie to the sport.
Yeah. That helps for sure.
Yes.
And then Landon can fill in the gaps for all the stuff that we don't know.
I know he really does. It's very, very useful for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Same. There's so much that I've learned from Moontower that I feel like I can actually have conversations about soccer in general outside of Austin FC much better than I could before listening to Moontower.
Yeah, it's really true. I mean, again, my poor husband gets pulled into all this, but he's like my one sounding board for most of my Austin FC stuff. But I'm always saying like, and Landon said on Moontower, like that is like, because I have to cite my sources all the time. It's just something that's built into me, and it comes up all the time. Or I'm like, I don't know what just happened. I'll let you know on Tuesday when I listen. Like that. Then I'll have an idea. I also, of course, read bills at the Striker,
Yes.
and so I have other means, but I am such an audio person. I just enjoy consuming stuff that way.
Yeah, same. I think that's kind of what drew us to podcasting instead of trying to become amateur fan journalists. A lot of people wanting to, read amateur fan takes online too, I'm sure. So, we passed up a good opportunity.
I feel like especially for these kind of chats, though, audio is the way to go.
Yeah.
So, Jessica, are you ready to really get into it? Dive right in.
I'm going to do my best. You guys are real experts at this. I'm going to do my best.
This first question's hard. It's a tough one. Who are your favorite players on and off the pitch? Whether it's social media follows or their community outreach. I think that one's obvious for all of us.
Yeah, obviously Stuver for that one. Like my co-host Amira, who lives here and is also an Austin FC fan, we interviewed Stuver for Burn It All Down a couple months ago, and we we were like, we've got to get him on. That was like a whole goal of ours. So certainly just deeply respect the work that he does in the community. And as we talked about on the podcast, like it means a lot to me to see him out there advocating for trans youth in this state that is, especially in sports, so hostile in ways that make me deeply sad. So that's just cool as hell. Man, on the pitch, I mean, obviously Drusy, because like I'm a normal person. I don't think there's a better answer there.
I think yes.
It's funny because I was thinking about this in preparation, and like I like John Gallagher off the pitch just fine. But if you saw my husband, you'd be like,
does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense, right?
I feel like that's kind of why I like the entire French national men's team.
There you go. Yeah. And I mean, that's how you do it. Like, I really liked Jan Kolmanich last year on the pitch. Gallagher's like taking a spot, but I always felt like his ceiling, he hasn't gotten anywhere close to it. It would be interesting to see with him. I'm trying to think. I'm like going through it in my mind. Gabrielson's been such
Unreal,
a great
right?
addition. Yeah. And my mother-in-law is 100% Norwegian. So my husband is 50%. My son is 25%. So the fact that there is a Norwegian on the pitch is important in this family. So it's been great that he's been very good overall. Aaron will kill me. He'll never listen to this, so he'll never know. But Nick Lima's quads we're fans in this house.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
This house also stands with you. I think there are a lot of houses, especially that listen to Swoontower, that are right there with you.
Oh, and I wanted to mention, did you all go to the match on Sunday?
Yes.
Okay, so in the pre-thing on television, because I did not go, they did the box-to-box interview.
I am so glad you're bringing this up right now.
Because I thought of you all. Like, so as I was watching, I knew we were going to record this, and it's Roger Wallace, right? And he talked to Gabrielson, and Gabrielson had the shortest shorts.
Yes. And did you see on his right thigh, was that a bruise? Was that a tattoo? It looked to me like a tattoo.
It looked to me like a tattoo.
Thank you.
It is. It's a bulldog. It's a French bulldog.
Is that true?
Oh, is it his friend? Like, is it like a picture of his own dog?
I think it's his. Yes.
Oh,
there was some investigation within the Los Verdes Slack that brought that.
Okay,
to,
I'm gonna text Chris Bills and be like,
I tweeted him earlier.
I have an assignment for you.
Yeah, if you can
need to
do
know.
That. Yes, exactly. I tweeted him. I told him that he's got the access we need. Billsy, if you're listening, now this is like a big
we need
deal.
to know. That's funny because Aaron he was like, what's on his leg? And I was like, a tattoo. Like, I just thought that was obvious. But man, if it's a tattoo of his own dog, I think I need to know that.
I think it's a French bulldog.
That's lovely.
That is lovely.
Wow.
Now my heart is like swelling. Just thinking about that little.
I know, right?
Like, imagine Ruben Gabrielson with a tiny little French bulldog running around. So cute.
Yes, I would love to imagine that. Thank you.
I mean, if there are two things that this podcast loves, it's short shorts and dogs.
Yeah.
So
yes,
I do feel like.
Can I just say that I have the best dog in the
Please.
whole world, and his name is Ralph, and he's a rescue dog. So I have, since the moment they announced who the mascots would be, like that they would be rescue dogs, I was like, oh, well, clearly my dog is a mascot of Austin FC.
Yeah.
And every time I listen to you guys talk about dogs, I'm like, Ralph needs to get interviewed. I need to figure out. I need to do that.
Well, so the danger with us interviewing Ralph is that means he's adoptable. So.
Well, not you.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
He's not adoptable.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit more about Ralph. What kind of a dog is he? How old?
Well, that's a great question. He's definitely poodle. He has these long legs, but the vet thinks he has terrier, some lab. He's black, so he's so hot this time of year, but he will just sit in the sun I'm like, you have to come in. But his story is that he was hit by a car or thrown out of a car. They're not totally sure, but he was found like in a ditch with his back right hip paralyzed. And some amazing vet put it back together. And he was a blue dog rescue, which our first dog was also a blue dog. And we had lost our first dog, I guess August of 2019. Everything is like related to the pandemic. And by December, we were ready to like have another dog. And Ralph was on the site. And he is fine now. My husband is a marathon runner. And when it's cold out, they can run like 6 miles together.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Ralph thinks he can run 6 miles in the heat. The guy, like he will come back from running and his tongue is like on the floor and he drinks 2 gallons of water and as soon as anyone goes by the door, it's like he thinks it's time to go. And you're like, you look like you're dying. He doesn't. So he is just the best boy. Because of his hip, he can't really jump on people. Like he can't jump up on furniture. When he does get very excited, he will jump all 4 legs off the ground together. It's very cute. And his like one flaw, because he only has one, is that he hates cars because one of them hurt him very badly. So he loves cheese more than anything in the world. So when we go on walks, we take cheese with us. And when a car goes by, he sits and we give him cheese. Oh. So, but sometimes there's a certain sound. It must be related to the car that hurt him where he just can't handle it. And he has to he like spins in a circle and barks at them. But most of the time now he's really good and sits and eats his cheese.
What an angel.
He's the best boy.
I love Ralph.
Yeah. Oh, same. 100%. We are Team Ralph.
I'm gonna send you guys pictures when we get off.
You
of
better.
here.
Yeah. We need to use it for promos. You know.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. 100%.
I don't have a really good segue for this one, but
do it.
Over the past year or so, do you have any like Austin FC memories that really jump out to you as like, this is the moment when, I fell in love with this player, or this is when I knew the team was special, or things like that?
That's a great question. We went to a fair amount of games in the first season. The first season was just hard, right? But like being in the stadium, shout out to the supporters group. Like it is just fun. Even when we lose. Amira and I went to the Mother's Day game this year, which we lost, and it was hard. Finlay did not do well, and he was playing right in front of us, and I thought Amira was going to lose her. I'm not allowed to curse, am I?
We can bleep it out.
Amira was going to lose her shit, and she was so frustrated. But that was also the game where the supporters group paused for 10 minutes, which was incredibly powerful. Yeah. But so anytime I go in person, it is spectacular. But I'm trying to think. Aaron and I went to, I want to say the season opener this year, and it was really cold.
Yeah, it was.
And we scored 5 goals.
Yeah, we did.
So like that was just, and we sat like third row because we don't have season tickets, which kills me. Somehow I just totally missed the sign up whenever it happened. So we're on the wait list and everything. But so we're always like bouncing around in the stadium. But we sat so close to the pitch, and it was we were so cold, which was a great feeling in that stadium because normally
it's a very different experience.
Yeah. And I don't really like to be cold, but still. And yeah, I can remember his face like when we scored the 3rd goal, and Aaron was just like, "What is happening?" Because I feel like in the first season we went to a fair amount, maybe all of the games at the beginning, because I was like, "We're gonna be there when they score a goal," and it took forever, right?
Oh, yeah, it took a while.
It took a while.
Yeah, but yeah, I remember the first goal, and when it went green, and I was like, "Oh, this is amazing." And the last thing I'll mention is we did go to Atlanta.
Oh, rad.
Because we have family there. And so going to an away game, and also like what a good one for us to choose, because there were like hundreds. There were so many Austin FC people there, even though that stadium is too big. But that was a very fun first away game for us.
That's awesome. Yeah, our first real away game, because we went to Houston and Frisco this year, but our first real away travel, like get on an airplane and go, is coming up. We're gonna go to Minnesota. We're gonna see them play Minnesota United. So we're super
Okay.
excited for that.
We've talked a lot about that because my husband's family is from Minnesota, hence the Norwegian.
That makes sense with the Norwegian. I grew up in Minnesota, so
Yes, yes. So we've talked a lot about trying to make one of those matches, maybe next year.
Yeah.
One of my things is that my son does not care at all about sports. So he was like willing to go in Atlanta because his cousin, who's 2 years older and cares a lot about soccer, was going. And so like for him, he will go, but not for me. So it's like if we're gonna go somewhere, he can't. It's like
It's got to be
he
a place.
won't want to go. But
Yeah.
after your fun interviews on the way to Frisco on last week's Swoontower, I was like, I really do want to do one of these bus trips.
They're fun. They're really
It sounded
good.
very fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
it was. It's been a long time since I've done, because I used to in New England do Boston to New York City quite a bit, and so that feeling of like being on a bus for a few hours and then having this explosive experience like in the stadium with all of these people and then getting back in the bus and going home, it's such like a whirlwind sense memory that I didn't realize I missed until we started doing those away games.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
difference is you don't have to sneak the alcohol on these, right? Like we did
No.
in Boston.
All right. So we have got a couple relatively rapid fire.
Yeah.
We're not going to like
We're not going to pepper you with them here. We're going to give you the time to answer. But,
Okay. As you can tell, I'm not very good at rapid answers.
we're not good at rapid questions.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
clearly.
Okay.
All right. So the first one caused some debate last year, but who has the best smile on the team?
I feel like who was the last player I saw smile is I feel like my answer.
honestly, though, right?
Right? Like Johan Valencia, it was his birthday yesterday, I want to say. And so I was like, oh, it's him. Look at that smile.
But then like,
I
right next to him is Washington Caruso, and he's got a great smile. And then next
And, like,
to him, like,
I do think Romagna. I do just think his smile is so good. But yeah, I do kind of feel like who was the last person I saw smile on this team? And that's my answer.
I love it. Perfect.
cool. Next question here is best fashion sense.
Oh, see, I'm not so great at like paying attention to stuff. I don't have fashion sense. So
How do you feel about
like,
bucket hats, though? That can narrow down your...
I don't like bucket hats, but I think Julio can pull them off. So, kudos. I mean, he looks good all the time, right? Like you
Right.
can tell that he cares a lot about how he looks off the pitch. So maybe I'll just stay him, and that seems really safe.
It
Like
is
a good
definitely
safe answer.
Yeah.
I think it's just the right answer. I agree that I think Julio has
good.
the best fashion on the team. So
Yeah, I
There
think
you
the three players who care the most, right, are Julio, Maxi, and Seba.
Yeah,
And
that
between
seems
the
right.
three of them, you can't go wrong with your choice. It just depends on what you like, you know?
Yeah, that sounds right. So I'll go with Julio then.
perfect. Well, you want to keep that name in the back of your mind because the next question is who would you just run through a wall for? Who are you ready to like just
Yeah.
burst right through
All
a brick
gas, no
concrete
brakes.
wall?
Like in what sense?
They make you want to like stand up and yell.
Yeah, yeah. They're like,
It's hard to put that kind of feeling into words with that this is an audio podcast, but I am
Yeah.
like raising my fists
Yeah.
and shaking them around.
yeah.
Oh. When I think about like on the pitch stuff, obviously it'd be Drusy. Like
Sure.
whenever he goes down, I want to like hurt the person who has hurt him. Like
Yeah.
I'm like I am ready.
That's the spirit of this question, exactly.
Also felt like that though. So Atlanta was so weird because we totally missed what happened to Gallagher when
Oh,
it happened.
yeah.
Like I just didn't understand. Like we were very high, they were very tiny. It happened. I wasn't looking when it happened, but the feelings I felt when I figured out he had a black eye, and then I read about how it happened. Yeah, that made me. I mean, I would run through a wall to protect that man. I think.
Yeah, that's
Feels weird
almost
to
like
say publicly, but yeah, yes.
Perfect.
I think we now need to break these into two questions. Like, who would we most like mama bear for, and who like gets us so amped that
Sure.
like we feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's interesting. So amped. I feel like Maxie often like makes me just so thrilled.
Cool.
That's awesome.
So that's like on my amped for sure.
I feel like that's a great choice. We don't see a lot of his like hyping the team in the like pregame
That's
or postgame
true.
hype videos, but we see it on the pitch all the time, right?
Yeah.
He's
yes.
constantly yelling at everybody and like trying to like he's one of those dudes like raising his hands to make the crowd go nuts. Like
Yes, absolutely. And as you all have discussed a lot on the show, I really love his celebration. His Celly is A+. It gets me every time.
no notes.
And he just is just the way he plays, like there's flair to it, right? Like he is performing as he's playing. It feels like.
he feels like a guy who would like has to be stopped from wearing his dangly earring out onto the pitch. You know?
Yes, well said. So yeah, he gets me amped. That's perfect.
Love it.
I think this next question might be the one that you thought we were going, like what direction that was. So, whose pose in the picture is your favorite?
Okay, so I felt really good about this question and the fact that when I told my husband, I read this question to him and he knew what I meant. I was like, oh, I've done such a good, he's not on social media. So like, I was like, oh, I clearly talk about these pictures a lot. If you knew what this referred to, if you do not have social media. This is so hard, right? Because I think the Gallagher Drusy, that whole bit is so good, and like the follow through and then the punching boxing look in Atlanta. But I really do like the it's hard for me to mention these guys
I'm
today,
so
but
sorry.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna do it though for you all.
You're the bigger person
Tarbell
here.
And Philippe move is so adorable.
Yes.
They have some work to do in my heart right now, but and on the pitch, obviously. But I like that progression that like they've gone there and like now they've kept that up. The whole thing is wonderful, honestly. Yeah. Like it is just such a delight every time one of them drops.
Yes.
Oh,
Thank you, Austin
best.
FC.
Honestly, right?
And the fact that other teams are starting to follow is my favorite part about it. It's so good.
It's so good. Everything about it.
All right. Panera mac and cheese in a bread bowl. Yes or no?
This is a real like. Is this a debate? I'm not.
Have
eating
you
mac and
ever
cheese
had it?
inside
And
a
how
bread
great
bowl.
is it?
I've never had it, but I can't imagine eating mac and cheese in a bread bowl. I'd probably love it.
No.
Jessica's on my team. Let's go.
All right.
I mean, I love bread and I love mac and cheese, and I don't think those two textures would
So
be
for
gross
those
together. So
those
Whew.
keeping track at home, it is me, Jessica, and Danny against Steph and Kip.
He didn't say he wouldn't like it. He just said he's never had it. He's never tried it. But me and Kippy are standing strong on the mac and cheese in a bread bowl from Panera line.
yeah, wow.
My next question is, what would you carry in your little bag? You know, in the pregame, all the soccer players walk in with their little bags, their little toilet
what are
bags.
in there?
That's
The toilet bags.
Yeah.
Toiletry bags.
Yeah. What would you carry in yours before a match?
Before a match? What do you need before a match? Like, I feel like it would just be like my headphones and my phone.
Well, that's
because I
what
would want
I
to
would
listen
think.
to music.
But like, you can always see their phones in their pockets because they wear those tight pants in the pregame
so
outfits.
what are
you know?
they? What are they?
What do they
putting
got
in
in
there?
there?
A whole lot of liquid IV.
Yeah. Is it like little bottles of cologne? Like, what are they doing? Like, what are they bringing?
That's the mystery of our time. Yeah. And so I want to know, you, Jessica Luther, what is in your little bag?
I don't know. I don't carry anything around. That's not exciting. Like, what? A mask and a phone and headphones and a wallet. Like, that's all I ever have.
It's a very
I'm a boring person in
utilitarian
real life.
It's a very utilitarian little bag.
Is like my middle name. I'm like, I don't even. At one point, there was some lip gloss. That's even gone away. Now that no one can see my mouth.
Sure.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. One day we'll solve it.
Yeah.
One day.
Yeah. In the meantime, guests, when you come on the show, expect that we're going to ask you what's in your toiletry bag. I'm just so curious. Steph, what would you bring in yours?
If I had a bag like that,
Yeah.
I would definitely put my EpiPen in it.
Sure.
Because I don't carry it around anywhere. And so I think if I had a bag for fashion's sake, I would be more likely to put something in it. That's the only thing I can think about. That's the
Listeners,
only
don't
thing I can
worry.
think of. Car
I
keys?
carry the EpiPen,
Oh,
just to be very clear.
good. Thank
All
you.
right. Last question. Who is the man of your jersey? Your number one favorite player. Who are you putting on the back of your jersey? In real life or hypothetically, because you can't commit to printing something.
Yeah,
I
Steph can't decide.
I cannot commit to printing. And then I have I'm just cheap, so I'm like, what if they leave? And then I have this
Get a new
leftover
one?
jersey.
Yeah.
Oh man, of my jersey. I mean, I want to say after Sunday that it's Drusy. That seems super obvious though. But man,
I mean,
I got a
he
Driussi
just-
jersey.
he's newsflash, really good at soccer.
You heard it here,
But
folks.
it just is something like I've heard Landon talk about. He just is in the right spot. It's just a wild kind of skill and intelligence that I marvel at in athletes that are very good at their sport. But yeah, it's Gallagher is probably who I would put on my jersey.
Oh, I don't know who I would
Amazing.
pick. I don't know. It's John Gallagher. I
Yeah,
know
I was
exactly.
like, that's it. That's it. Yeah.
Y'all heard it here first. Jessica
Oh, this
Luther,
is so
Gally
embarrassing.
Gal.
Please don't ever tell
she
him
is.
yeah, we do not think that the players listen to this podcast, which is, I think, good for everyone. Jessica, thank you so much for coming on, for chatting with us, for talking about the boys for a little bit in a fun and wholesome way.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it. This was so much fun.
Yes. Where can people find you?
Online, most of my social media, all of my social media is Jessica W. Luther is the handle. And then that's my website as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being here. Everyone, follow Jessica on Twitter, buy her books. I guess
Subscribe to
our
Patreon.
Patreon. Yep.
If you see her in the streets, give her money. Just
Yeah, sure.
support journalism.
All right. Once again, thank you so much to Jessica Luther.
Thank you so much. That was so fun.
So much fun. We hope you all enjoyed listening to it as much as we enjoyed chatting with her. And Mike, there's just one thing left to say.
What's that, Steph?
Who's the man of my jersey this Swoontower cycle?
Who's the man of my jersey this Swoontower cycle?
It's Ruben Gabrielson. Not just because he resembled a lovable yet cruel video game character. Not just because he gave the greatest comeback in sports interview history. But because I like him a lot, and that's the only reason I really need. So that's it!
Great. I was hoping you were going to mention his French bulldog tattoo on his upper thigh, but I guess we'll leave that for another time.
Thank you all so much for listening. We're so excited that you're here. If you see us out and about, we do have Swoontower stickers, so make sure you stop by and grab one.
And then like, review, subscribe, tell all your friends, and pay money to the Moontower Patreon after you get done donating to Jessica's Patreon, because y'all, they're just like everybody we know is such good creators and support the heck out of them.
Yeah, we love everyone, especially you and my mom and Ruben Gabrielson. We'll see you next time. Do you want to do it this time?
Do you trust me to?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.